Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessing. I'm gonna give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. Ain't gonna be too crazy tonight, No, just want to reiterate on one or two little things, but I also wanted to add something to the conversation. So give y'all some time to tune in. I know it's a couple people live right now. Shout outs to all the real ones. Um, First things first, TGIF. TGIF, y'all. Happy Friday to everybody that's pulling in. Hopefully everybody had a blessed and productive week. Hopefully everybody was smoothly able to get through their work week, through their school week. I know some of y'all preparing for spring break or whatever, but make sure you, like I said before, make sure that your kids at least safe and sound if they plan on traveling outside the states or just traveling outside, period. Appreciate everybody that tuned in Wednesday for the conversation. Definitely was a great one. Definitely one that was needed. And like I said, I'm still going to reiterate on it because, son, we need to keep pushing, pushing that narrative of parenting and pushing that narrative of trying to do better. I know before my mouth go left, I know before my mouth go left. And shout out to the four people in the shadows watching. I'm gonna dig into this first though, because I feel this is a prime example of having respect and morals. And some of you parents are gonna have to start teaching your kids better manners and respect. It seems like in this Gen Z population, there's no respect. Squirrel, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for popping in. Um, this generation is kind of cooked, and it's sad because it's not so much as the men that's saying it. You know, you also have some women who are saying the same thing. This generation is cooked. And the reason why they're saying that is because they have truth to what they're saying. There's no form of common sense, respect, and morals. Anytime, again, you could think to want to argue and fight with adults that are old enough to be your parents or even your grandparents or even quick to want to fight them, that's a problem right there. See, we couldn't do that back in the day because if we thought to even rear up or buck up, 9 out of 10, we was going to get a lesson from the person we bucked up at, and then we was going to get a lesson from our parent. These days, it don't seem like that. It don't seem like there's enough parenting going on as is. This is why you're also getting certain situations where kids are out all hours of the night, getting into all forms of trouble and mischief. And then when it's all said and done, we get the typical, oh, that was my baby couldn't do no wrong type of mentality. But if you actually knew what your child was up to, you'd have been able to stop some of that. Mike, what's going on, my guy? And I'm sorry, but got to start taking more precautions and definitely take accountability because again, you are a parent. You are supposed to be making sure that your child is growing up into adulthood with with all of the excess knowledge and wisdom and understanding. You know, this is my thing. You want your child to be better in life. You want your child to be a success story or your children to be successes in life. You have to set the blueprint. And again, it does start from home. First thing you should really be teaching them outside of reading and writing is how to have respect for themselves and for others. Didi, baby. My fault, y'all. Had to double check on something. But, you know, you're supposed to teach them core values that's gonna, that's gonna be beneficial for them in the long run. When you sitting here and you're not teaching them how to respect and how to do any of those things that are important, that's a problem. East Dad, what's going on, my guy? It's a big problem because respect will get you in higher places than disrespect. Um, Hate, jealousy, and envy is not going to get you nowhere. It's just going to leave you in a volatile state. Now, prime example of why you should teach your children respect, because if your children does decide to go into the workforce and they decide they're going to be, professionals at whatever they're going to be doing, if they're going to be dealing with people, they need to have more of a they need to have more of a decorum when it comes to how they treat people, how they speak to people, because that's important. Prime example, this girl just got her feelings hurt and could have got fired technically because you're working for an establishment, and the fact that you was disrespectful, and that's one thing I said they got to start teaching, especially you bilingual parents. Teach your kids not to speak in a language. Teach them not to speak in a language and be disrespectful at the same time, because you don't know who the hell understands your language, and you don't know how far that could go. Prime example: this girl was disrespectful towards a older gentleman that could have been old enough to been her grandfather, talking about him crazy in Spanish, and then he exposed it. And he said, for future reference, you would want to not speak in your language and be speaking foul about people because you don't know who understands your language. Now, she was trying to play it off like, oh, what you, this is like she was getting mad because she thought he was recording her the whole time. No, he was recording the situation in general. Because my thing is, you working at a Walmart, and that's one of them big chains that you do something that's violating the policy or violating the code, you up out of here. And the fact that you trying to spew racism in your native tongue, like people don't understand. There are some dark skinned brothers that understand the Spanish. There are some dark skinned brothers that understand Russian. There are some black dudes that understand German and all them other languages, even French. This is why it's important for some of y'all to learn respect. If you just had a whole conversation in English and then all of a sudden, because some people are coming up, now you want to switch the tone and switch the language. No. Usually when people do that, that's because either they talking about somebody, or number two, they probably just don't want too many people in the business. But either which way, it shouldn't matter because you don't know who understands the language. And that they end up cursing you out, or they can end up doing something far worse than that. Serious, baby. And that's the thing. You don't understand that there are some people that speak the lingo. There are some people who have took their time and initiative to learn these languages, because some of these people might be traveling. Some of these people might have to do business outside of the states, outside of the country. You don't think they learning certain languages so they don't get lost in the loop? And again, for the fact that you sat here and tried to get out of pocket with somebody and in your language and thought he wasn't going to check you, that was a funny but humbling moment. Again, person old enough to be your grandfather. Like, and you're gonna sit there and disrespect them and then bring the racism card into it. This is a key problem. It's sad again when you sit there and look at it and these people think you can't understand something until you burst a bubble and show them that, look, I understand what you said. If that's so much as a problem, you shouldn't be working with around people, period. Like I said, if you don't want to be around people, you don't want to work with people, find a job where you will be far away from people. And let anybody else who is willing to take the job and do the job right, let them do it. You gotta think about it again. You representing a big chain company, and I know that's one thing they try to frown upon, and that's one thing they will get rid of you for is racism of any kind, prejudice of any kind. Again, it's something that y'all need to learn because this is my thing. If the shoe was on the other foot, y'all would be quick to be up in arms. Y'all would be quick to try to, oh, but they did this and they discriminated, and but you're not looking at what you did. You just basically talked about somebody foul in your language. How you think that pans out? Because now, what if that man would have said, well, since you feel that way about me, I got daughters that'll come see you after work. Some situations you're not going to be able to get yourself out of. Again, you better learn respect and learn dignity because your dignity should be your representing the company. So I know if I do certain things that could be a problem, I could easily be replaced. And then now I have to start back over again. But this is what I'm saying. You know, it's not a good look on any behalf. Because then now, look, you might try to go for another job and they read up on why you was fired from your last one and so on and so forth. And they going to look at you like, okay, do I really want to have these type of issues in my company? Because my thing was, if you was quick to do that to a customer and that customer blew you up, imagine who else you was doing it to. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You got co-workers who you think might not speak the language, but you better be careful on what you're saying. Because now when they pop up and start speaking your language and they burst your bubble, what you gonna do then? I just watched this happen a couple days ago. Dude said something in his native Russian tongue, and he thought the dude didn't understand him. What you think came after that? A cold slap to the face. Now, for some people, they say, oh, that wasn't warranted. He didn't have to do that. You can't say that when a person just called you all out of your character in their native tongue, called them all forms of N words, so on and so forth. You think people don't understand the language just because they might not speak it well, but that don't mean some people don't understand it. I can't speak your language word for nothing, right? But if I know a majority of the stuff that is being said out your mouth, that just goes to show you I understand it. And seeing those type of scenarios will get you into a fight or worse. That's why I said it's sad that in this day and age, you know, racism and prejudice is still very much alive. This is why I said it's important to teach them self-respect and respect for others. Because how you think you gonna go further up the chain, especially if you all working? How you gonna go up the chain if you can't even, you know, you can't have a smooth dialect without it being a problem? That's one thing too, working on your emotional intelligence and awareness. Because to be quite honest, that was immaturity right there. Because there was no need for the prejudice remarks. And there's definitely no need for you to run down that road neither. Because again, where some people will turn their cheek and walk away, some people will be ready to fight and even die for this because they're not going to tolerate no disrespect from nobody. Oh shoot, I hear you. I hear you on that, East Dad. That's what I'm saying. Some people gotta be careful, but even without that, bro, there's some people that just understand the language. I might not be fully fluent in Spanish, but I understand when somebody is saying something crazy out their mouth, especially towards the melanated kind. I know that part. And I know when to get in somebody's ass and when not to. Liz, baby. You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. But it's just common sense and common respect. Yeah, we could be from different backgrounds, but that don't mean I gotta treat you any different. That's what's up though. Cause yeah, they got certain things that they help translate the language, but there's some people that just understand it well because they done learned it in school or that was something that they've been around. Oh shit, I thought my banner was up. Thank you, Sirius. I thought my damn banner was up. I'm over here multitasking right now. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. I forgot before my mouth go left. But yeah, you got to teach them that this is not the way to go, especially if they plan on getting into the work field, because not everybody is going to be so tolerant when it comes to your behavior. Now, again, what happens if that man would have thought to bring trouble to the job? Or what if he just said, let me see your manager? What you gonna do then if that manager had to sit there and go through that with that customer? You'd have been getting fired, written up, fired, all of that. Real spill, baby. And that's the thing. You gotta understand that there are just gonna be people who are not gonna tolerate the disrespect. Doesn't matter what language it is. And again, you're working for an establishment where they are big on trying to be opportunistic for people. So, you're basically putting them in a terrible bond if you want to think about it. Because now look, they gotta sit here, deal with a customer complaint, possibly a store complaint. And then now what if this person would have decided, you know what? You just said some things about me that I don't feel good about. I'm taking you to court. And that's what I'm saying. It's time for y'all to stop thinking you could do what you want to do, say what you want to say, and there's not going to be no consequence. Be safe on that road, Siri. Oh, be safe on that road. My bad. Spill, be safe on that road. I'm still multitasking, y'all. Oh, the hell is this on the camera? Uh-oh. But yeah, you can't sit here and blatantly disrespect somebody and think that it's not going to be some form of consequences coming with that. That's like you literally calling somebody the N word, knowing that you're not of that. What you think going to spark up? Some people are going to get upset, and some people will bring it to the next level. And that's the problem. Again, it's things that you have to be wary of. You can't consistently be, in these workplaces and thinking that some of the things you're saying and doing is going to be tolerable. It's not, because you'll set yourself up. You'll set yourself up to where you get red taped and you can't be in certain positions. Doesn't matter what company it is. And that's the thing though. Be careful and what you're saying and what you're doing, because it does reflect not just on you, it reflects on that company as well. And that'll be the first thing they say is, oh well, this company is tied to racism, it's tied to this, it's tied to that. And then they start losing customers, they start losing loyal fan bases, etc., etc. And then to be honest with you, that you should be more aware of what's going on, because again, what happens if the person that hired you was of that set? What you was going to do then? You're not thinking about that. What happens if your manager, or what happens if the person that hired you is of melanated, of the melanated kind? What you gonna say then? Yeah, you're gonna have to scratch your forehead on that one. Again, you will be brought into an establishment because you're being brought to do a job and make sure that you're doing the job correctly. But it's sad. Now, big ups to the bro because like I said, that could have went left. He could have been calling for a manager or even worse. He could have went and made a complaint and filed the complaint. And that's what some of y'all fail to realize. Certain things you do still could be considered a crime if somebody has to come and file a report on you. So more than one report goes in that this is the same person, they doing the same type of tactic, et cetera, et cetera. You're gonna put yourself in a real precarious situation. And for what? Like I said, learn some respect, learn some manners, and learn some morals. And if you're not trying to be in these positions where you have to again deal with people like customer service and things like that, that's even like if you're dealing with customer service and things along the lines like on the phones. You gotta have a professional tone and an etiquette when it comes to speaking to people. You can't just speak to the people like you speaking to one of your peoples on the block. Yo, what up, son? Like, yo, what up? What you need? Like, you gotta be professional when it comes to that too. That's just like with people who are working, for a prime example, those people who are working in the public assistance offices and stuff like that. When they are speaking to people, they can't just speak to them like they talking to somebody on the streets or like they talking with their friends. No, they have to be professional, especially with dealing with your situation. And I think that's a problem right now. Again, there's a lack of respect and there's a lack of integrity when it comes to how some people present themselves. Platty, baby. Riders, baby. See y'all then. See y'all then. Oh, shoot. Happy birthday, Platty. Happy. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Don't leave out just yet, damn it. Don't leave out just yet since it's your birthday. Hold on. In my own lane, we can't merge. So with no hands, you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. One more happy birthday. Another year, another blessing around the sun, Platty. You already know. Come on now. Anybody that's celebrating birthdays, I know it's still. I think I still got 2 more days for Pisces season. I know. But hopefully y'all keeping yourselves safe. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves. Oh, I forgot. You already here Saturday, Platty. Happy Saturday, damn it. I still need my lottery numbers for tomorrow today, damn it. Come on now. Yeah, but definitely enjoy your time with your daughter and the family and. But yeah, that's important though. Learning that self-respect again because you're gonna be dealing with different people. Some of these people are not gonna be too kind to not just disrespect, but just overall toxic behavior. And in my opinion, it is kind of toxic because again, how could you sit here and think to get crazy and get stupid with people and you don't even know them? Again, mind your manners and mind your mouth. Because in certain scenarios, some of y'all will get punched in the mouth. Sorry to say it that way, but you will. Just like I told you earlier, dude sat here and called this dude every darn name outside of the child of God in his language. And what he thought was going to happen, it happened. And I think that's a problem. Some of y'all really think that's what it is. I could say what I want to. I could do what I want to, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing. But you'll be sadly mistaken because something will happen. Just like I said, is it really worth losing your position just because you can't follow etiquette and follow protocol? If you want to be James, what's going on, my guy? If you want to be a quote unquote bigot, racist, and all that other stuff, do that on your own time. Don't do that around people. It's not going to work. That bigotry and everything else will definitely it'll screw you over in the long run. Telling you, like I said, this generation is kind of cooked because again, we haven't learned how to maneuver the way we were supposed to be maneuvering in the first place. I could blame some of the adults. I could blame some of the parents because again, you're not teaching your child nothing at home. And again, it seems like there's no parents here. It's only the streets or social media that's raising your children. I think that's a problem. And again, when you're not teaching them those type of manners, it puts you in the hot box. Because again, some people have unfortunately lost their lives just for being racist at the wrong time, or just for picking the wrong type of scenarios with people at the wrong time. Again, you don't know who's willing to crash out just because. Number one goal again should be safety. Keeping yourself safe. But again, show some integrity and some class because if a person is not violating or disrespecting you, then why should you do that to them? It's unfair. And this is why I be saying with some people, y'all want people to respect you so badly, but you're not willing to give the respect. And respect is earned, not demanded. It's earned. And that's the problem. Again, you sit back and you look how some of these people are doing things now, and it's like it baffles the mind. No doubt, Platty, baby. And enjoy your birthday, baby. And still bring me back a pork chop and bring me back a kangaroo pork chop. Not messing with you no more. I want my kangaroo chops, damn it. No, but that's a problem right there. Because again, everybody has a plan until they really get punched in the mouth on some Mike Tyson stuff. And it's the truth. Don't bring no heat if you're not ready to take that heat back. Oh yes, they will. Yes, they will, Platty. They're gonna be dry because of the kangaroo heat. I know. I know. Throw some extra barbecue sauce on it, son. But you're gonna have people who, like I said, they feel entitled to say and do whatever, and they're supposed to just rock out. But they slowly find out that that's not the case, and that's not the route they should have been going in the first place. And again, that girl is lucky because she probably could have gotten fired. And then again, some of these companies and establishments, they have social media pages. So you think they not watching or looking out for certain things? They are. Um, and that's the thing too. You got to be careful because now again, if they got a page and they scrolling around and see certain things, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be in a hot seat. You're gonna be in a hot seat for what? Because of your mouth, or because of your attitude, or because of your ignorant ways. That's not the way it should work. And again, why risk putting yourself in danger because you can't control yourself? I think that's a problem again in its entirety. You know. Now today, I'm still going to reiterate on what I was starting to talk about on Wednesday. And again, I think we could get those numbers down. Prime example, 'cause like I was telling y'all, it really is sad when you look at it that 85% of the male population that is in jail right now are coming from single mother homes. They ain't say single parent. I looked at it again. It's mostly single mother homes. And now I'm speaking to those quote unquote single mothers, at least the ones that need to hear it. I'm not going to speak to the single mothers who are doing their job and doing what's necessary because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is following the protocol. I'm going to speak to those ones who need to hear it because, again, you still have time to fix things that need to be fixed before it becomes a problem. Like prime example, there's some of y'all who think it's cool for your kids to be running around again all hours of the night. But you know, just like I know, there's nothing remotely outside late hours of the night. There's nothing good outside after a certain time, especially when you're that young. Again, you know, you're gonna sit here and try to put your child in a hot spot. It's time for y'all to again start gripping the chains like you're supposed to. Get in control of what you need to get in control of while you can, because if you don't, your children are going to be sorry. They're going to be a part of that. They're going to be a part of that scenario and also a part of that dynamic. Now, see, here's my thing again. Um, we get tired of hearing things like, "Oh, when something bad happens, we get the oh, that was my baby. My baby could do no wrong." How do you know if your baby could do no wrong if you're not paying them any attention? And I gotta ask some of them questions. Again, some of y'all losing kids before they even get a chance to get into their primes, before they even get a chance to finish high school, before they even get a chance to fully even finish college. Explain to me how that's fair. You know, how is that fair that your children are not succeeding and not getting past a certain age or a certain level in life? These are things you need to think about. Like some of y'all, you got your kids hanging out all hours of the night. You don't know who they could be. They could be hanging out doing all sorts of street activities they ain't supposed to be doing. They could be involved in gang stuff. Some of y'all better get these kids together because if you ain't been hearing what's been on the news to a degree with certain scenarios, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get rough. Prime example, for those who want to be a part of the gang and everything else, you got to remember again, there's going to be consequences for being in that type of scenario and that type of field. Because number one, there is no real positive outcome. No real positive outcome at all when it comes to that. So you're going to basically put yourself in a dire situation. You better think about some of these scenarios that's happening in the news now, even down in some of these gangs. Guess what? There's a lot of RICO that's being put up on people. People are catching RICO cases now, whether they actively gang banging or not. whether they still tied hard into the streets or not. There's a lot of RICO cases that are coming up, and I don't think y'all understand how serious those RICO charges are. Um, 'Cause like I said, once the feds come and snatch you up, snatch your peoples up, it is no. You could get bond. Don't get it twisted. You can get bond, but it depends on the scenario, and it depends on the specific crime of nature that you probably could get a bond. But then you get a bond, you're lucky to get one. You ain't gonna get one right away. You still gotta wait. It's still a process. And then you still gotta put up a lot of collateral just for you to even get out. And then if you do get out, guess what? Now you gotta pay more collateral for a lawyer to help you fight your case outside. And some of y'all think it's a game. It's not a game. It's not a game no more. Because now some of these people are looking at football numbers. Some of them looking at 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus. You think you really prepared to spend the rest of your lives or the rest of your young adulthood in the feds when you could be out and about doing something more constructive and more creative? Some of you parents right now, again, better start getting more involved with what your children are doing, how they doing things, because when you're not, it's going to be a problem. Believe me when I tell you that it's going to be a problem. Think about some of the mothers right now who got all these sons locked up. Daughters might be locked up or passed on, all because of being tied into the streets too much. I'm telling you, it's not a game no more. Wait, give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, it's not a game no more. Um, Again, you better start getting it because guess what? Your kids messing around and being around the wrong type of influences. Guess what? They're gonna be catching them damn charges just like the adults is catching them, right? My question is, why would you want to be a part of an organization, prime example, where that organization is being looked at for some of the crimes and some of the things that are happening? If you think they're not watching everything, trust me, they're watching. They're watching everything that's going on. They just waiting for the right moment to do like how they always do. They're gonna let things pile up, and then when it's time to start executing warrants and everything else, trust me, they're gonna be on it. That means if you was doing some wild stuff, your child was doing some wild stuff, you tied in that badly into the streets, guess what? When these feds decide they gonna come do their raids and they sweeps, you're not gonna be able to say or do much. For some of y'all that are out here, and I'm speaking to some of you youngins, for some of you youngins that's out here gangbanging or just tied into the streets, even if it's not gang ties, again, you could still face a RICO act. You think all these people that are catching RICOs are part of the gang? No. Some of these people just had their own cliques, had their own little organizations. They're not part of no major gangs, but a RICO, it doesn't matter. Anything that has to deal with racketeering, kidnapping, extort, anything along those lines that could be a federal offense. Oh, trust me, it's getting added. And for some of you adults out there, again, y'all hearing all the news. Y'all hearing all the news about different things like that. Again, just think about that. You not paying attention to your child, and now your child done got wrapped up in the RICO case with a bunch of young ones. Recently, they just did a sting out here in the city where they done wrapped up at least 20 people, I believe, part of some blood set, you know, and they wrapped them up because one of the scenarios happened out here in my area. So again, I don't care what age you are, you claim you out here in them streets. Guess what? If you moving a certain way and you doing certain things, you're getting caught. And a lot of y'all getting caught, I'll be honest with you. A lot of y'all getting yourselves wrapped up because of social media. And that's not a maybe. That's a pure fact. Some of y'all are getting wrapped up. Some of these people are getting wrapped up because the things that they're saying and the things that they're presenting on social media. Some of these people are getting wrapped up because they not paying attention or not knowing the signs that they got a tap phone. And again, think about it. You get wrapped up by the feds, ain't a guarantee you getting a bond. And if you do get a bond, you still gotta wait. And then imagine again how much it's going to cost for you to fight a case from outside when it's a federal case. It ain't nothing cheap. See, some of y'all want to go with this notion like I'm big and bad and I could do whatever and can't nobody stop me. You're going to meet that humble wall because something will humble your ass. And again, for some of you parents, again, you better be paying attention to what your children are doing, what they're getting into. Shoot, the other night, it almost could have been a serious problem because here it is, these kids is maybe 11 or 12 years old when they should be in the cribs, when they should be home, or they should just be somewhere indoors. They out and about messing with people that they ain't got no business messing with. Now, how you think that would have ended up? You messed with the wrong person. They decide they want to get rid of you. Or you messed with the wrong person and now they making it a mission to make sure they catch you. Parents, it's time for y'all to start being more active for real. It's time for y'all to start raising the kids. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care what you got going on in your personal life. Your children come before anything. So that means what it means. Your children come before anything. You should be making sure that your children is home safe on certain nights, especially the school nights. Making sure that they home. Making sure that they are learning. Making sure that they are, getting the proper education and knowledge. Oh, speaking of that, some of y'all should be on the up and up because apparently they might be abolishing the Department of Education. So guess what's going to happen if that does happen? That means all you parents are going to now have to school your kids from home. Half of y'all are not prepared to do that. That's why half of y'all are putting your kids in the school system because you don't have time to properly teach them or train them. But what's going to happen if they decide to close all the schools up? Now, for some of y'all, you might be happy because you've been trying to get homeschooling for your kids, which I can understand because some of y'all have faced safety issues when it comes to your children. I grant that. But for the ones that's not facing those problems, what you going to do now? So if they decide that they're going to abolish the whole Department of Education, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's going to be either less schools, which I believe that it's going to be less schools. So what you going to do then? Again, that means a lot of y'all are going to have to start schooling your kids from home and teaching them not just the basics, but you're going to have to really educate them on things. Now, for some areas, they just going to abolish some of the schools like how they already have. And if you look at it right now, there's more prisons being built than schools being built. But then again, if they eliminate certain aspects of the Department of Education, because I highly doubt they could just do all of that. What they can do though is they could eliminate certain parts of the educational system. You know, that will delay a child's social development if that happens. Yeah, that is truth to some degree. But if you from the old school to a degree, even before school, you was taking your kids out, you was having them go out and play and interact with people. So it's not hard to have interactions with people if you're doing it the right way. You know, it's not going to mess up their social skills if you decide, well, I'm going to teach them this, but I'm going to still, have some form of recreation going on. But that's what I'm saying. They can't eliminate the whole system. So what they're going to do is they're going to eliminate certain aspects of that system. And once they do that, you know, what you going to do then? Like I said, now you're going to have to start being more responsible. Now you're going to have to teach. And technically, that would be good for some because, again, you are their first teachers. So most of the stuff that they learn, the reading, the writing, and everything else, that's supposed to be done by you, the parent. You can't have your kid go to school and they don't know how to read or write or at least understand what's going on because that's going to be a downfall and a setback too. But that's what I'm saying. Look how serious, baby. You want to know why they doing worse, Mike? They doing worse, honestly, because the schools are not doing what they usually used to do. Prime example, we couldn't fucking have our phones or electronic devices or none of that shit. We couldn't have that shit when we was coming up. If we thought to fuck around and do something, guess what? 9 out of 10, we was getting our stuff taken until the end of the year, or unless a parent came up to get it. Nowadays, they don't give a fuck. They letting the kids do TikTok videos in the class and all sorts of wild shit. Shit that we couldn't do. And that's the problem. It's not enough. It's not enough going on. It's not enough structure. Like I said, if you could turn around and see a short video and every time you look, it seemed like it's kids inside of a school hallway, school bathroom, anything along those lines, and they doing multiple videos, that's not learning. Especially when they in class. And some of these people are doing it while class is actually being active. That's a problem. Social media has become the problem for some of these kids in the Department of Education. Now, what they are going to eliminate, I believe, yeah, they're going to eliminate some more schools and some more whatevers, right? But to some degree, it would be good for the parents because now that's less shit you got to worry about when it comes to the educational system. You don't have to worry about certain entities um, poking at you as far as what you're doing and how you're doing things. That's less That's less shit you got to worry about to a degree. For some, that's good. That's less situations you got to worry about. That's one less complaint you got to worry about, or one less, mom, I had an issue, or dad, I had an issue with this one. It's good to some degree. But for some, it's not going to be a good look because, again, how you going to teach your kid anything if you're not teaching them anything? If you're not, you know, if you're not doing your job. Because they see, like I said, this is the thing. Back in the day, we couldn't sit here because even social media wasn't that much of a thing. But even if it would have been how it is now, we still wouldn't have been able to do certain things because there was a protocol. You shouldn't have no electronics during class. Shouldn't have no electronics on you really during the school day unless it's an emergency for something. And that's the thing. Again, when you got kids who are performing TikTok and Instagram videos and other things along those natures, there's not much going on. Again, this is why I said it's important to do what's needed and do what's necessary. Some things need to change up because that's why the schools are underperforming now. Some of these schools are underperforming because of what's going on. Lack of accountability, lack of responsibility. You could see a student with a phone they ain't supposed to have, and they're busy recording or talking on the phone or doing whatever. And um they're not being disciplined. And I think that again, it's important. Your kids need to learn something outside of just how to make videos on social media and try to go viral. They should learn about the most important things as far as history is concerned. As far as science, mathematics, it's important. Exactly, James, it does. It distracts them from learning because now all of a sudden it's just, oh well, I'm gonna just do this, or I'm gonna just do this. But again, when you're not learning what you're supposed to learn, you're setting yourselves up. When your kids are not learning, you're setting yourselves up. And again, for some of you parents, you are going to have to be responsible in making sure that your kids know what's going on. Again, if they decide they're going to close up more schools, which I know they are, think about how many schools will be active within your county, within your whatever. Some of you might have to go outside of your jurisdiction to place your kids into some form of school establishment. But I think they're going to eliminate certain things of the Department of Education, not all of it. They're just going to eliminate certain things that they feel are becoming um, too much of a problem. And again, I feel to some degree it'll be better because now for some of those schools, they ain't got to worry about the government poking and trying to place things. You can actually teach the schools what they need to learn. Teach them the key things that they need to learn without the government being so much of a, yeah, let me hover over you and make sure you're teaching them what we want them to learn. Some of these schools will be better because now they can teach the way they want to teach the way they need to teach, and there is no issue. But yeah, devices are becoming a problem. And I think that's something that you need to look at. Your devices should only be out unless of an emergency. Other than that, you know, focus on what you need to learn for life. James number 8, what's going on, my guy? You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Mike, start slapping him. I ain't messing with you, boy. That ain't gonna work. That's what I'm saying. We have to start doing better. You know, we have to start implementing the old standards and the old ways of learning. Your kid is not going to learn much if your kid is too focused on doing TikToks. Your kid is not going to learn if they too focused on being on Instagram or even on Facebook. Your kid's not going to learn nothing when they only focusing on YouTube and all of these other platforms. They're not going to learn not a damn thing. And what they learn is things that they're going to keep, constantly seeing. Like some of y'all with these pranks. Some of y'all with these pranks. Some people are not always going to be for the jokes. Some people are not going to want to be part of a prank. Some people are not going to want to be the laughing stock at your expense. So you better think about that as well too. That's why I said it's important. If you're gonna do certain things, prime example, it needs to be a time and a place for it. Now you want to do all your little videos, dance steps, and everything else. Do that outside of the school. Or do that outside of class. Don't do that during the school hours. And that's what I'm saying. It's like things that we wasn't accustomed to having or we wasn't able to do. These kids now are able to do it with no problem. Because again, there's no form of discipline, there's no form of disciplinary actions, none of that. Shoot, sometimes you barely even getting homework packages and stuff like that now. And when you are, that's because some of these schools still go by the protocols, even if we going on some form of break, whether it's winter break, spring break, whatever. If you're not going to be in school for about a week or so, guess what? We're going to send you home with a homework package. Your homework package should be done before you come back to school. That's the thing. Now, I didn't hear that part. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of these pranks that people are trying to do too, especially these young ones. But guess what? Some of these pranks have dangerous repercussions and consequences. Just like I was saying the other week, they was trying to do a social experiment where this dude was quote unquote arguing with his girl and almost got physical. Now, even though it was supposed to be an experiment, uh, that young boy almost got hurt not once but twice doing that prank. Because guess what? There are some men that if they see certain things, they're gonna jump in. Especially that could be their brother. Well, that could be their sister. That could be anybody. You know, they're not playing that when it comes to, and that's not a real prank you should be playing around with domestic violence because there really are people who are being domestically abused right now as we speak. And that's the thing. These experiments and pranks that some of y'all are trying to do, some people they're gonna act accordingly. They're gonna do what's necessary. Like I said, that boy almost got beat up. Had he not said it's a prank, it's a prank, it's a prank, who knows? He probably would have got a black eye or worse. Because again, it looked like you was about to put your hands on a woman, and some men are just not for that. Some people are not going to be for that. So you need to be thinking about what you're going to do if you plan on going viral. I spoke about this a long time ago too. Y'all want to go viral so badly, but some of the things you're doing is tacky. Some of the things you're doing are quite dangerous to your lives as well too. Just like it was a prank going on with the dude was in the Walmart or whatever, and you gonna blatantly blow past the dude and go talk to his wife. That could have went left, and it almost did go left because he had to call for the cameraman to come and tell him, "Yo, it's a prank. It's a prank. It's a prank. It's a prank." Some people ain't for that, and that's not no funny experiment neither. Some of y'all are doing things that could be dangerous towards your safety. And this is what I'm saying for some of y'all. You have parents that love and care for you. So guess what? You better think twice about some of the things you do because again, it could put you in a situation where you won't be coming home. Yeah, and you can't do that. Can't do that. You can't sit here and lie and say that somebody was kidnapped and knowing that's not the case. Because that's still a crime. You falsely making accusations on things, that's still a crime. I don't know why some of y'all don't think it's still a crime to do that. It's a crime to sit here and make false reports and accusations. Why? Because guess what? You're wasting taxpayers' money. You're wasting the cops' time. And then now they're going to be upset. They ain't come over y'all here for nothing. So what you think going to happen? Well, I said some of y'all better think before you do things because, again, that will be your downfall. Again, 11 years old, and instead of you, you know, instead of you just saying, let me just whatever, now you about to face felony charges or you about to become a felon just because of something that you didn't have to do. Yeah, and once you get them involved like that, trust me, it ain't no good look. They're going to want to take somebody down. So you better remember that part. That's like you lying and saying that your neighbors are being abusive towards each other. And then when they come out here, there's nothing going on. The neighbor's not even home. You just sat here and lied. For what? That's why I said it's a lot of things that need to be taught at home. And see, the one lady that I watched earlier, I couldn't disagree with her more. Well, no, I couldn't agree with her more with what she said. I agree with her on that notion. This generation is cooked because, again, the lack of respect, the lack of morals, integrity, everybody is so hypersensitive and emotional. The minute you say something that's truthful or you say something that needs to be said, all of a something is, oh, you're being discriminative, or you're being this, or you're being that. No. How about I'm just being realistic? Because that's the thing now. And some of y'all fail to realize some of the things you do. Welcome back, serious baby. Some of the things you do, and I'm speaking to you youngins too. Some of the things you do are going to have repercussions and consequences, not just on you, but your parents as well. But just think about you doing something where you caused the city damage, and now your parents got to pay for that because you couldn't control yourself. So all I'm saying, y'all got to think some of the things you do will have a consequence on you in the long run. Just like I was saying earlier about learning how to have integrity and learning how to have some self dignity. Because again, some of y'all on here, you're saying and doing whatever, and guess what? That's going to be a downfall for you too somewhere down the line. Because if you plan on being in the public eye at some point, some things will be put out there. Why you think a lot of people now are trying to retract some of their statements and their actions on the things that they've done? Because now look at it. Look how many people got called out for old tweets and old videos about them being racist, being, being racist, being prejudiced. And now they trying to damage control, basically. It ain't looking good for some of them. But some people will tell you who they are just by some of the ways and some of the actions that they present. And some of y'all better be careful of what you saying and doing on here. Because if at some point you do become a public figure, they're gonna look at some of these things. And that's gonna be the first thing they wonder is, well, how did this person get this far and this person was always feeling this way? Or why should this person even be a representative of anything if this is how they feel about people? It is something to think about. But see, again, I agree with this lady, and she couldn't have said it any more better. She was like, trash is gonna always consistently produce trash. I agree with her on that. because some of the ways of the parenting now, I'm sorry, is trash. It's trash ass. Excuse my language and part of my French. But y'all supposed to be raising star players, not people that just come off a bench, not followers. Y'all supposed to be raising future leaders. And this is what I'm saying. There's things that you really have to look at. And it starts from when they're young, young. Some of y'all think, some of y'all think that just putting your kid in front of a TV or in front of a computer is gonna keep them quiet and keep them at bay. It might to some degree, but then in the same token, it's not always gonna work. You know, nah, I hear you, James. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Now, see, even the prank calls to a degree, that's things that that I get that much. See, back in the days, the pranks usually used to be just like that, prank phone calls. But it even that got corny and that even got crazy after a while because some people was prank calling and doing the utmost, scaring people out of their misery. Right? Come on now. It's a difference. Again, pranks wasn't to hurt nobody. Pranks was just for the laughter and the fun. But pranks was normally amongst the people that you're cool with. You wasn't going to just prank no random person back in the day because you never knew what the outcome could be. It's just like now. You can't prank certain people and think there's not going to be some form of consequence and repercussion to it. You're going to sit here and make a false report. Guess what? Them false reports get you in trouble. And I'm gonna be honest with you. There's some of y'all who you need to really buckle down when it comes to your studies. Buckle down. Buckle down with your children. Buckle down with your family. Because to be quite honest with you, the way certain things is moving, it's not going to be a good look on any behalf for real. But for some of y'all think it's a game until your kid is locked up and can't get no form of bail, and now your child is locked up for something they ain't necessarily have to do. And that's the thing though. There's some things that you're not going to be able to do now because, again, it's almost like a crime. It's time for y'all to get that in your minds. It shouldn't be whatever you could be at whatever cost because it's not working there. You want the best for your children. Prime example: start teaching them, start raising them the right way, start showing them better. Like I said, you need to definitely teach them about emotional awareness and emotional intelligence. Another thing you need to teach them is how the world is, teach them how the world works, even down to relationships. Teach them how it works. Because prime example, there's some of you who are not having these talks like you're supposed to with your children, and now your children are out here basically clueless, running around like a chicken with a head cut off. Like I said, when it's time to have certain talks, it's time to have those talks. Because when you don't, you're placing your children in a failure position. Like when you're not teaching them the value of a relationship or a marriage, when you're not teaching them self value, self dignity, and preservation, you're messing them up. Why? Because now they're gonna assume that these are the things you need to say or do to keep a relationship flowing. These are the things that's going to keep your relationship intact when it's not always the case. You're teaching them irresponsibilities, basically. You're supposed to teach them self-value because they are supposed to value themselves. They are supposed to love themselves. And in order for them to be responsible adults and even when they have their own kids, keep them on a responsible level, they have to learn certain things before time. Teach them what they should be aspiring to look for, basically. Like you gonna teach your kings to look for that good woman. You gonna teach your kings to treat the good woman right, so on and so forth. And vice versa. You gonna teach your daughters what kind of man to look for, what kind of standards and what kind of morals and principles, and so on and so forth. It's supposed to be on both ends. Not just picking and choosing and then just blatantly making all sorts of choices that you know for a fact they're gonna have repercussions to. See, I believe this to a degree. When you teach them the values of self-preservation, when you teach them that they don't have to give their bodies to everybody, when you're teaching them that they don't have to give their mind and their souls to everybody who's not worth it, it'd be a lot less headaches. You know, basically, if you're going to be out there picking and choosing, pick and choose the right person because the way things are going, even with the court systems again, it's going to be more beneficial for that mother and that child than you. And I'm speaking to you men now. Be careful. Be careful in who you choosing as a partner. Be careful of what you're doing with your partner, but also make sure that you and your partner are on the same page when it comes to building and growing. I think it's critical though, because then you'll get less scenarios of I got this many kids with this many people. You have to teach them that when you're bringing a child into the world, that's not just a blessing, but that's also an important stage and an important, you know, that's an important life scenario for you that you have to be on point with. Prime example, you can't bring kids into the world if you're not financially prepared to bring them into the world. Because how you going to take care of them? How they going to get pampers? How they going to get milk? How they going to get the clothes that they need for their back? You know, things cost nowadays. Inflation is definitely at an all-time high because the things that would have been cheaper back in the days is not cheap no more. Let you try to go buy some Pampers and them shit is almost $20. Even for the smallest things. Like there's no way you're gonna tell me I'm paying 17, 18, $20 for a thing of Pampers and you're not even probably getting more than it depends on where you're getting your Pampers from and how much come in the pack though, because some of them even small packs, 16, 20 in the pack, almost $20. And if you think about it, if you gotta buy these things in bulk, that's the only way you're gonna be able to get off is if you buy certain things in bulk. But again, how you gonna do anything if you're not out there working, you're not grinding, you're not doing something to bring some form of income so you could do what you need to do. It's a sad world again when you could think that people are supposed to be taking certain things seriously and they're not. Ladies, you have to start being more careful again with who you giving your bodies to and who's laying seeds in you. Now, this was my thing. I watched something the other day, and I don't sit in certain chats or certain things for too long, especially when I know for a fact, it could go left. But in this case right here, um, I learned something. I learned that you do have people who feel they should still have standards and feel like they're entitled to certain things when you're not going to be entitled to certain things when you're putting yourself in a scenario. Like, there's no way you could tell me you got almost 14 kids and you're still out here looking for love, but you got all these different baby daddies. How does that work? Or vice versa. You fellas got all these kids by all these different women, and then you're wondering why you're not in a solid position. Come on now. Because you're being careless and irresponsible. When you're bringing a life into the world, it's more about raising that child, raising them children. It's not about y'all no more. It's not about y'all personals no more. It's about the most important part of raising the child. Just like I watched something the other day, and I learned something too. There are some people who think that a single father, prime example, is supposed to put them before their kids. That's not going to happen. I watched a short video today. Um, I guess the guy had invited this girl over. I guess he invited her over for dinner or whatever the case was. But apparently she got upset because the father was feeding the kids. How do you get upset about a fucking father doing what they supposed to do? Feeding their kids and making sure that their kids is getting straight for bed. You was more focused on you eating and making sure you ate, but them kids didn't eat. First things first, you don't even know that man like that. Y'all just started like getting to know each other, you dating each other. He was nice enough to invite you to the damn house, which I feel anytime you're not really in a committed relationship, you shouldn't be inviting certain people to your house because you don't know what those scenarios could turn out to be. But to think that you would sit here and get mad because that man fed his kids before he fed you. You're not his wife. And even if you was his wife, guess what? The kids would still come before you. It's just the same way y'all would say the kids come before a man, right? The kids got to eat before the man, right? So why would you think that it wouldn't be the other way around? And it seemed like she was highly upset. Oh, well, you should have told me that they was here. That man don't got to tell you if his kids is at the house or not. That's not his job to tell you that. And it doesn't matter, even if he would have told you. The fact that you got mad that he wanted to feed his kids before anything, that's a problem right there. Come on now. And that's the thing though. Y'all get mad and say that there ain't no responsible men out there. But the responsible men are showing you day by day why there's certain things they are not gonna do. They're not gonna put somebody before their kids. Now there are a small percentage of men who will do that, but those are the simps that I'll be talking about. Because if any time you could put another adult before your children, that's a problem. The only person you should be putting before anything is that higher power. But other than that, there's no way you can tell me you get mad at a parent for doing what he's supposed to be doing. So I said it's just the way society is moving right now. There's too many double standards that are not working, and I'm sorry, it's not working on behalf. It's not doing anything well. Like another thing I'm gonna say for some of y'all women and even y'all young women out there, stop trying to fight a man. Stop trying to be physical and have confrontations with a man because you're gonna mess around and you're gonna get that exact same energy you was looking for. Now, with certain people again will turn their cheek, other ones ain't gonna turn their cheek. They're gonna be all for the smoke, and that's a problem. Why do y'all always get this notion of wanting to fight a man? You know you have no physical wins in that fight right there in that category right there. Now, prime example, things that you shouldn't do. For some of you young women out there, don't put your hands on a man and think that that man is just gonna allow it to happen. Because you might get one man that if he don't put his hands back on you, guess what? They'll be calling the cops. They believe in calling the cops and pressing charges because y'all want that equality so badly, right? that double standard shit don't work all the time. I'm telling you, you know. Oh, no, that's crazy, James. That right there is crazy. That's a Guinness book right there. That's a Guinness book record right there. 28 would have had 70 babies. Shit. But this is what I'm saying. This is not a good look that some of you young women and even some of you older women think that violence is the way to keep certain things under wraps. Because again, it's all right for you to hit a man, right? But if that man hit you back, what happens? What that man get? That man get looked at, crucified, and all of that. So why do you feel it's okay again to be fighting men? This is why I also said that it's important for fathers to be a part of the growing and the teaching, especially when it comes to their young queens. Because no woman should be putting their hands on a man, and no man should be putting their hands on a woman. Period. Instead of fighting each other, you're supposed to be showing each other love. Supposed to be helping uplift each other. And some of y'all think that is cool again until you get your head knocked off. Now, a prime example, I watched a police cam scenario where lady try to catch road rage and it backfired on her. You try to get crazy with the driver, the passenger came out and try to cool the situation down. The minute the passenger decides to walk away, you decide to hit him in his head. Not once, but twice. He turned around and rock bottomed your ass in the street. Luckily, there was no police reports that were made. But the reason why I believe there was no police reports made is because, again, you initiated the problem. So even if he was wrong for doing what he did to you, you was wrong for initiating the problem in the first place. And that's one thing some of you ladies have to understand is learning accountability for your actions. Fellas, the same thing. Some of y'all need to learn to take accountability for your mess ups. I think that's something that parents should be teaching their kids, not to always resort to violence and be violent towards people, especially the opposite sex, because it's not a good look. Oh, shoot, she is, no doubt. I'm going to look that up after this live. But again, I think that's something that you need to teach. Teach them not to be violent. Teach them about the importance of, trust and respect. And that's one thing you should be teaching them is respect. Because how you think you going to get further in life if you being so disrespectful? Ain't nobody going to want to be around you if that's how you're doing things. Again, nobody's going to tolerate the disrespect. So it's best for you to start doing what you need to do now. I can speak from experience because I raised my brother from the time he was 12 till he became a grown man again. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard neither. You know, you just got to do what's necessary. You have to be more active and proactive when it comes to that. It's so critical nowadays that you teach these young ones how to mind. First things first, mind their business. Because some of them are being in adult conversations. They don't have no situations being in. Another thing again is making sure your children is not out here wilding, cursing, and getting all disrespectful. Because yeah, some of y'all might think just because your child is not doing certain things in front of you that they're not doing certain things. Period. But that's a lie right there. I just literally watched the girl in my building. Old goody two shoes. Soon as she got outside, oh fuck, this like just started going off, cursing like a sailor. But you don't do that in the house, and that's the thing, though. This is where you need to teach them. Look, the things you not doing in here, you're not going to be doing them outside. And if I find out that you're doing some of these things outside, we're going to have a problem, and I'm going to have to discipline. You know, you should be trying to raise your children to be better and not to be funny. They need to be eerie about the company they keep because some of the company they keep will definitely influence them the wrong way. Like I said, look how many young ones are sitting up in jail right now because they follow the leader, follow the leader. I'm gonna do this. If I don't do this, then I'm not down with the clique. If I don't do this, then they ain't gonna consider me cool. And now look, you sitting up, can't go home, and now you have to face your time. This is why I said it's important to make sure they're learning what they need to learn at home. Teach them that again, your actions have consequences and repercussions. If you want to be out here causing harm to your fellow folks, you want to be out here being a menace to society, you're gonna face that. You're gonna face that scenario where you're gonna hit that wall, and when you hit that wall, it's gonna be a hard hit. And again, imagine you sitting up a portion of your young life in jail because of something you didn't have to do. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's just it got to be better steps to pushing these young ones in the right direction. And again, some of you adults, even the ones that are not the initial parents, are going to have to start stepping in. That's the problem now. Is not enough adults stepping in to do what's necessary to keep these kids in line and to keep them in order. So when you don't have nobody that's being a fundamental part of your growth, you're gonna just say and do whatever, and it's just gonna be accepted. Nah, it's not gonna be accepted. You're gonna put yourself in a worse position than what you in now. I'm telling you, it's time for y'all to start thinking and start being more wise in your decision making. Now, another thing I am gonna bring up tonight, and I'm gonna leave that after that, because again, I feel this is needed. Some of y'all again be careful in the partners that you choose. You don't want to have that quote unquote baby mother, baby father situation where things are always on the bad side. Again, you better be picking and picking right. Better be choosing right. Like again, some of y'all cannot be that entitled when you're making irrash decisions. You can't try to come into a certain scenario and demand certain things. Like again, some of y'all demanding a man to just come into your life and play stepdaddy. No, I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. You only want them to play stepdaddy because of the financial role. But it's more than just financials that go into being a father or being a father figure. So if you're not allowing that man to do their job completely, then you shouldn't be asking or looking for nothing. And some of y'all are notorious for that. You want somebody to come in and lead, but then you're not trying to let them lead. You're not trying to give them the full responsibility of doing things that's supposed to be done. I think that's a problem. You can't come into the field with five different baby fathers and think a six man is going to come in and take care of everything. That don't work like that. And when you do get somebody, that's again, they probably are already in a scenario where they already got kids that are grown, so they not caring. Wait a minute, he passed? Yo, son, George Foreman passed today? Wow. R.I.P. George Foreman. Shoot. Damn. Damn, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's why I was trying to say earlier to a degree too. Like it's so much going on right now. You know, some of it is not fully a distraction, and some of it is just, information we need to know. But but this is what I'm saying. You don't know how long you're gonna be here on this planet. But while you are here, you need to try to do the best you can do, you know? And if you got kids, you will want your kids to be on the up and up. You want your kids to be on the safe side of things. You don't want to have a crash out for a child. You don't want that, you know? This is why it's important to teach these kids not just education on the book level, teach them education on a life skill level. Like prime example, there's some people right now who are placing themselves into these programs. Teach these kids a trade. A lot of people right now I see are getting into HVAC and things of that nature. Teach your kids. Teach your kids something better. Get them into these programs. It'll be useful for them because now they're learning a life skill. They're learning that at $30, $40 an hour is definitely going to mean something. And if they get into a certain position where now they could be making almost 6 digits a year, that should be good. And that's what I'm saying. And now, when I was saying earlier about them possibly trying to eliminate the Department of Education, James, and that notion, a lot of these parents ain't gonna have no choice but to be in their kids' lives now and definitely teach them. Because who else gonna teach them? You gonna have your kids running around the streets uneducated, uncouth? It's not gonna feel right for them. And these are things again that they've been trying to plot on, eliminating certain things, you know. But like I said, I don't believe that they're gonna eliminate the whole system because it's gonna be impossible to do so. But again, they will eliminate certain things that again have also um held these kids back from learning the truth on certain things. Like I said, some of these schools will actually be able to teach the up to date curriculum and everything without being overlooked or um without being monitored. This is what I'm saying. Some of y'all blessed to have children. Some of these people, like I keep saying, weren't blessed to have children or have a family of their own because they didn't make it to a certain age. Let's not forget about that. There's some people who never get a chance to grow their legacy because they won't make it past a certain age. That's just like may that girl rest in peace. May that little girl rest in peace. With the rapper Lil Ronnie getting unalive. Him and his daughter. His daughter is never going to make it past a certain grade. Never going to achieve what she could have achieved in life because guess what? Life was taken too short. This is why again, for some of y'all now that are raising young ones, whether you're going to be a single mother, single father, or whether you're going to co-parent, you better make sure your children learn emotional stability, intelligence, and awareness. Just because you said something to me doesn't mean I have to go home, get my gun, and come and do something to you. Just because you might have did something that, I might have felt embarrassed about, that doesn't mean I have to come back and take your life for that. Certain things you're going to have to eat on the chin regardless. That's life. There was things that was said and done to me in life that I wouldn't be here talking to you now. But see, I was lucky to have a queen. May she rest in peace. I was lucky enough to have a queen that was able to at least teach me that part of the game. Don't let too many things get up under your skin. Don't let certain things take you to a point where there's no coming back from that. And plus, I had male figures like my uncles and them. Same thing. teaching that emotional awareness and intelligence. Because shoot, my uncles and them, it's rare you're going to get an emotion from them unless it's something bad. But when you do get emotions from them, it's going to be on the level of I'm gonna teach you something, or let me put this in a scenario for you so you understand better. Which if these people wouldn't have done, again, I could have been another statistic. I could have been behind that wall or not even here. That's something that y'all all should think about for real. For you young ones who are raising children now, you better raise your children the right way or try to lead them in the right direction. And when they get grown, whatever they decide to do, you know you did your part. You got people right now who are never gonna see their kids being raised, or they're not gonna continue to be a part of the raising factor because they're not here. Again, something y'all need to think about. Now, see, prime example, my bad, y'all. There's some of y'all that think it's cool to be cursing in front of your children, acting childish in front of your children, being violent. It's not cool. Because what are you teaching them? That this is how they supposed to interact in life? They supposed to be bullies. They supposed to be irresponsible. They supposed to be emotional all around the board. No. Again, this is why it's important to teach them what you need to teach them. Because if you don't do it, who else is going to do it? Yeah, James, you want to know why? Because again, private schools are not cheap. I don't care where you at in the States, private schools are not cheap. Gotta think about it. Some of these private schools, it's almost like you paying a college tuition just for your kids to be a part of this system. And then, God forbid, if these kids ain't learning nothing, then you wasting money. That's what I believe. Yeah, they want to privatize a lot of the schools, but you're not. It's going to be hard to do so, especially when some of these schools have already been public forever. That's why I said there's certain things that is definitely about to change in this country, but some of the things that they trying to change or trying to get rid of, it's not going to be. It's not going to be what they think it's going to be. There's just certain elements in life and certain elements in this country that you're not going to be able to fully erase. Now, for some things they will erase, good riddance to it because this will keep people on the up and up. Prime example: if they was to get rid of, oh no, if they were to be more careful on who they give public assistance to and child support and social security to, guess what? That means half of them people who have either duped the system or still duping the system. And now guess what's gonna happen? You're either gonna have to get your asses up and work like everybody else, or you're gonna try to think you're gonna get over, and guess what? They still gonna make you work for something. No doubt, Mike. Appreciate you, my guy. Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. What you gotta think about that? I mean, really think about that. They already closed down certain schools because they wasn't falling they wasn't falling within the curriculum of things. I can remember schools across town for me that were big names and then they closed them down. They closed them down because them schools got too dangerous. When you got a principal scared to come out of their office, that's a problem. When you got adults that are not trying to do what's needed, that's a problem. And that's another way they're trying to close down. That's why they're allowing some of these schools to do what the fuck they doing now. They're allowing the students to do whatever because how you think you're gonna get a school closed down quicker? If they don't want to learn, fuck it. Let them do what they gonna do, right? But who ends up suffering in the long run? The children who's supposed to be learning. So, like I said, there are certain things I feel they are going to eliminate out of that Department of Education, which would be a good thing for some. But then for others, things they're going to take is going to affect your children. And some of the things they had already taken out of schools been affecting the children. Why do you think there's not enough arts programs, music programs, things along those natures? Why do you think there ain't enough trades being taught, so on and so forth? These is curriculums and things that they cut out of the damn system. But if you any type of parent, any type of logical parent, you want to make sure your child is getting the best out of life, regardless, education wise, and just life, period. Making sure they're getting the best of everything. Because what's the purpose of bringing life into the world if you're not going to be a part of raising that life, teaching that life something? Just being irresponsible and selfish. That's something that y'all really need to take into consideration. There's certain things right now that you're not talking about it, that you're not paying attention to, but you need to start paying attention because, again, some of these things will affect you and your family. See, like prime example, if they was to decide to pick and choose who actually gets public assistance, which we know 9 out of 10, the main people who are going to get it and continue to get it. Because I know there's some people right now who are crying about they not getting their monthlies, they not getting this. Yeah, because they already done started. They're gonna make sure that you're disabled or that you're old or that you just can't work for whatever situation. But for everything else, oh, they're gonna put y'all to work. Ain't gonna be no freebies no more. A lot of them government programs and assistances y'all was making a lifestyle out of, they about to cut that short. A lot of y'all Section A's, if you are able-bodied and able to work, they're gonna make you work. It ain't gonna be no your rent is only this amount of money, but you got money to go here and do this and do that. I'm telling you, we're gonna really start eliminating certain factors from these different aspects of the government. And what some of y'all gonna do then? Now you're gonna have to do what's necessary. Get up and go find you some form of employment. Because some of y'all need to get up off your asses anyway. No way you could tell me you're an able-bodied working adult and you're utilizing and using the system to a point where you ain't getting nothing. Not getting nothing important out of that. What is it teaching you? That all I gotta do is just rely on the government for my help and that's it. Again, if you're not disabled, handicapped, as far as mentally handicapped, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not sick. Nothing along those lines. What you think gonna happen when you think you going for this and going for that? They gonna make your ass work. They're gonna make you work. It is nothing you can do about it. They're just gonna make you work. Because if you want these benefits so badly, if you want to be making this a lifestyle of living, oh, guess what? It ain't gonna be like that no more. A lot of y'all are gonna get forced out there into the work field. Oh, you want this assistance? Well, guess what? You still got to put in at least 29 or 30 hours out the week. And for some of y'all, you getting ready to cry about that. But you got people working more hours than you, and they ain't getting no fucking assistance. They not. You got some people working 40, 50, 60 hours plus. They wish they could get a food stamp. They wish they could get some form of assistance. But if they making too much, they ain't getting it. So who you think is faring out more? Something that you should be thinking about. There's going to be a lot of things. Going to be a lot of different things that are about to get X'd out. Some for the good, some for the bad. The ones that are for the good is going to be better for the hard-working, hard-paying, tax-paying citizens. For the others, it ain't going to be too good for y'all. Because now you're going to have to scramble and worry about how you're going to put your next meal in the house, basically. I was just like the girl that said that she been collecting stamps since she was 19. You well in your 30s. You in your mid 30s. How long you think you was going to use and abuse the system? And then try to get mad and say, well, where does that put me? Now that means I have to get out and work. First things first, for some of y'all that need to know, those assistances that you're getting from the government is just what it is, assistance. It's not a lifestyle of living, but y'all made it a lifestyle. And some of y'all getting caught up now because look, you getting however many and you bringing all your personal business on social media, number one. You telling everybody how much you're getting. And then every time you turn around, look what y'all doing. You're posting this up, you're posting that up. Oh, this is what my stamps got me. This is what this got me. This is what this got me. Okay. So if you can sit here and do all that, you should be able to get your ass up and go to work. If you could make videos all day, if you could be out and about in the streets, if you could be out and about living like you ain't got no responsibility, you should be able to get up and go to work. Sorry. That's how I feel about it overall. Get up and do something. And that's one thing that some of you parents should be trying to teach. Teaching your kids the value of a hard day's work. Teaching your kids the value of $1. There's nothing more satisfying than teaching them self-respect, teaching them hard work, teaching them discipline, and teaching them about responsibilities. Because guess what? When you keep spoiling children, at some point, it's going to be a downfall for them when they become adults. Prime example, you can't always say yes to your kids. No. There's some things you're going to have to stand your ground on and say no to. Because if you don't, that's going to be something that lingers with into adulthood. People not accepting rejection or accepting no. Something to think about, though. It's really something to think about. Like I said, some of y'all gonna have to get yourselves in order, get your families in order, because the way the country is about to change up, shoot, it's gonna be bad for half of y'all, and the other half is already gonna be prepared and already gonna be on to bigger and better things to keep themselves afloat. Like for some of y'all, you're gonna have to start growing your own. You're gonna have to start growing your own produce. You're gonna have to start falling back on certain things. Some of y'all are gonna have to start buying more water and stuff like that because from what's being said now, in certain areas the reservoirs are tainted. So you can't have tainted water coming through your house. You can't drink the tap water like that no more if it's tainted. You'll mess around and get sick. And I'm gonna say that again for some of y'all that need to hear that. Some of y'all areas, your reservoirs might be tainted. It might be nothing but lead in there. Your best bet, try to stock up on the bottled waters or do the old fashioned way. Better start boiling your water before you drink it. Boil your water and do what you need to do before you drink it. Because trust me, you know, there's gonna be a lot of different scenarios happening. And when they happen, it's gonna be a problem. That's why I'm saying we get caught up in so many different distractions and look at what's going on in the world around us. That's why I said we be so quick to focus on Hollywood nonsense and focus on things that don't need to be focused on. But what you should be focused on is going to be the things that, again, keep you afloat for the future. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 years. So, again, get yourselves right. Get your families right. It's only fair to do so. For those, again, who need to hear that, if you're in an area where your waters is being tainted, start buying up the bottled waters in the supermarkets and stuff because it's going to be needed. But nonetheless, though, um, tonight was just a good overall conversation about things that are changing, things that need to change, and things that will forever change because of what's going on now. I'm telling you, some of y'all better get your thinking caps on because some of y'all have gotten used to a system doing everything for you. Now you're gonna have to start doing things for yourself, and you're gonna have to start doing things for your family on the up and up. But again, we do need to teach the one thing that's needed, at least within the community. Teaching these young ones about discipline, self dignity, and self respect. This way, they can have respect for the people around them. Blatant disrespect is going to get you left in a scenario where it's not going to be a good look no more. And if some of y'all don't want your children be swallowed up in that belly of the beast, you better start making sure you're raising them correctly. Again, if these children are under a certain age, they should be within the house, not outside all hours of the night. Make sure your kids are not joining the wrong type of organizations or being a part of the wrong type of crowds. Because again, this will be your children's downfall, just like it will be your downfall because you didn't do what was necessary for your child. Something to think about, you know? Have to start getting back in the better mindset of doing what's necessary. Again, how your children going to learn anything when the first teachers that they have are not teaching them nothing? But yeah, I'm gonna definitely revisit this. And hopefully somebody got something out of this today. Yeah, we did cover a couple topics, but the main topic at hand again, getting your children in order, teaching them about respect and morals and principles. And again, if you don't do it, who else is going to do it? And if you're going to allow the streets and you're going to allow social media to teach your kids is going to be in a world full of hurt and they're going to learn some hard life lessons before they time. Start being more active and just have more decency and compassion. You brought these kids in the world. Now it's time for you to be responsible. Do what's necessary for them. Before I get up out of here, though, I want to take the time to thank everybody that's been a part of the bill, still becoming a part of the bill, and we still got more great conversations at hand. You know, and these conversations do help, whether the people believe it or not. They do help at bringing back the stages of thinking, bring back the awareness, get back to that thinking factor. You know, how can we educate and do better if we're not having these talks? How are these young ones going to learn, especially the ones who are coming on social media, when all they're learning is how to be violent and how to be disrespectful towards people, even their own partners? How do you think that 85% of the prison population is going to drop down to less than that? If again, these people are being raised in households where there is no love, there is no stability, there is no normalcy. Things like that you have to take, you know, you have to take on the chin and you have to stand up. Parents, it's time for y'all to start teaching, start loving, and definitely start placing better values around your children so they know how to deal with things, you know? Can't always just deal with things on emotion. You got to think on a higher level. Got to remember, emotional intelligence and awareness will definitely be the key factors for your kids' success. Teaching them that they don't have to get aggressive, they don't have to think outside, or they don't have to think on the violent level to basically try to hurt somebody. Remember, you parents are the first teachers. And if you're not teaching them anything, they ain't gonna never learn nothing. And they'll never succeed or be anything outside of. That's the only way you're gonna be able to break the cycle and break the chains again. Start teaching. Start bringing that awareness to your children. Teach them when to defend themselves and when to just fall back. Before I get up out of here, though, let me again say happy birthday to all the Pisces babies. Y'all still in here. And hopefully, if you got whatever plans for this weekend, whether you're celebrating your birthday or celebrating birthdays with friends and family, again, make sure that you all keeping yourself safe, keeping yourself visual as possible. And again, enjoy every moment of. Keep creating and making memories. Oh, and it is Friday, so. Don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in. Appreciate y'all being a part of the conversation. And I want to take the time out again and thank the most important mods in here. Y'all already know who y'all. I don't got to say much. Y'all definitely, again, the fuel and the inspiration for this. Thank all the supporters. Thank all the real ones. Oh, and even when you're being talked about, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be doing this. That's what's up, James. Yeah, dang, that would have definitely been a blessing. You see, some people want to make it past 70, 80 years old. Since that's all they give us is 70 to 80 years on this earth. We want to reach and aspire for more of that. And it's also important for a lot of y'all to make sure you're doing what's necessary and take care of yourselves. Do try to get your checkups, try to get whatever's needed, but just keep your body in good motion. If you got to cut out certain things like sugars and salts, do so. Find a substitute, do what's necessary. See, and that was a blessing right there, James. You made it to at least 90 years old. Some men are not even making it past 50 or 60 years old. Some of us are only reaching our quote unquote prime of 75. But there are some men who are going to make it past those ages that they say we are doomed to be gone. Some people are going to make it past 100. But while you are here, try to do what you possibly can do. Yeah, and happy birthday and heavenly birthday to those who are not here to celebrate. Hold on one second. It is still Friday, right? My bad.
Good with a slick mouth. You better not run up on me. If you do, then I'ma trip out. You better not run up on me. If you do, then I'ma trip out. 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 Trip out. Trip out. Trip out. Trip out. Trip out. You better not run up on me.
You already know how we do, James. My bad, y'all. I'm about to start busting down these onion rings in a minute. But yeah, we're going to definitely revisit this conversation. And again, the conversations will continue until we at least start getting to a form of thinking and just a form of correctness. And we can do that. Again, we just got to be willing to do so. And for the OGs who are out there, who are keeping everything on the up and up, who are trying to still keep that form of how we used to do things in order, keep doing what you do. I ain't forget about y'all though.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
Yes. For those celebrating again. There you go. Oh, wait, but don't stop dancing on my behalf. Keep dancing. You keep on doing what y'all doing. You keep on doing what you're doing. One more again, one more. One more again for the good people.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I normally don't ask girls stuff like this until they tell me they're pregnant. What's your name?
Clapper.
And since it's still a Good Friday vibes.
Bounce back, take a loss, nigga, get it right back. She get tossed around, moving like that. Outside with the demons, that Beyonce almost made me drown, but I'm breathing. I had to lose to win. Then I told myself I never lose.
Come on now, y'all know I had to be a fool with it. One more again. And don't encourage none of the madness, James. You wasn't supposed to encourage it. Serious here, I didn't forget about you.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I know that was one of them on your good list, one of them on the good list, but hold on. And for those who might need a good laugh, you could definitely catch these shorts. If you haven't been catching them, definitely make sure you hitting the like on that. And again, you know, show your boys some love. Show your boys some love. Without further ado, though.
In my own lane, we can't merge. So with no hands, you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn.
Yes. Yes. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Serious, James, come get Baby Klepto. He been doing that all damn day, even around the grill. Look at him. He been doing that all day, James. He said it's time for you to get back on that grill, son. The footwork is impeccable for them. It's impeccable. Oh, serious. Since you want to talk about our motor oil, hold on. James, that's me skating down. Come pour me a cup, son. Pour me a cup. Rap video of the year goes to.
Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his own voice in them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your.
What you mean? Hell no! He stole $20 from you. You let baby Pablo steal $20 from you? Wait a minute. I ain't like the way that sounded. You gonna let him take the money from you? You gonna let him take the money from you? You gonna let him take the damn money from y'all? Come on, son. Come on now. No. But yeah. You good Friday vibe.
I got G's. You ever make a bitty hit her knees? Well, guess what? I'm JP. On my dime, make a bitch say.
That's my alter ego. It's not. This is my alter ego.
Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
That's my alter ego right there. There you go. There you go. And there you go. But we feeling good today, so watch this. You know, I had to leave y'all with some goodness in here, you know, I had to leave y'all with some goodness, but yeah, for the email that's coming. Oh yeah, shout outs to Marlene. I can't forget about her short. She probably feel like me right now if she ain't. Wait a minute. I think I lost it. No, I didn't. I think I lost it. No, I got it.
I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow. I just ain't tryna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow.
But yeah, let me get up out of here. Let me get up out of here. Wait a minute, hell no, one more game. But yeah, let me get up out of here. For those who might have just been tuning in late, you could definitely catch this replay. And I appreciate those who shared me out. I pretty much already figured out who shared me out, and I appreciate y'all. And again, we're gonna keep having these convos because it's important. But let me leave y'all with something good. Let me leave y'all with something good. Just remember when the AI Nations Awards come, you will be getting this.
Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Oh, you might get one of this.
That make me crazy. That make me crazy. That make me crazy.
Don't worry. Summertime coming. You're gonna see a lot of this.
Wish I could be part of that
Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot something. Let me leave you out with this. But yeah, let me get up out of here though. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. And for everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real bills. But I'm gonna leave y'all with some real dance moves. Hold on. I ain't forget.
Before we start to turn it out, you must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop. Breathe in, breathe out.
And for those who think I can't dance,
Before we start to turn it out, you must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop. Breathe in, breathe out.
Oh man, let me give y'all one for the road. But y'all stay safe, keep that third eye open, and until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.